Good afternoon, Patriots, and welcome to another edition of Quarantime. You know me, I'm RP, and as always, my co-host M3 is sitting behind the scenes, huddled in the corner of his bat cave, surrounded by research. And we're bringing it today, guys, let me tell you. Hope all of you are having a lovely afternoon. We've got quite a few things we're going to be talking about. I want to say hello and thank you to everyone who is here. I see Patriots from all across the globe. Do me a favor, guys, remember to like and share this broadcast. Almost 1,000 people, now over 1,000 people here, 291 likes. Help us get that up. I want to give a special shout out to Table of Titans Hulkinator, my boy from Table of Titans. Baby Love 78, good to see you. Simone is right here. I gave her a whole bunch of loving so that she'd be quiet. My girlfriend is here. Hi, honey, I love you. Thank you to JoJo. Thank you to Wheezy Girl. We've got a new drop, guys, right before we're coming on. I swear, sometimes I think our favorite Anon is watching the show. All right, guys. Please, everyone, do sit back, relax, grab that popcorn, and we'll be right back after a brief word from our sponsor. Franklin's Finest Coffee is the first ever emergency survival coffee with an actual up to 25-year shelf life. The kit provides a 1-year supply of flavorful Franklin's Finest coffee for one person. It's conveniently packaged in 12 resealable, 60-serving, heavy-duty 4-layer zipper pouches for a total of 720 servings. It's all packaged in a rugged, water-resistant bucket for easy storage, and Franklin's Finest Coffee is the ultimate survival perk, especially for those that drink coffee on a daily basis. Or you can take it camping. It's 100% Colombian, and it's also the perfect item for barter or trade in an emergency. You'll thank us later for that tip. As Benjamin Franklin said, among the numerous luxuries on the table, coffee may be considered as one of the most valuable. It excites cheerfulness without intoxication, and the pleasing flow of spirits which it occasions is never followed by sadness, languor, or debility. I tell you what, guys, Benjamin Franklin was a smart guy. He knew what was up. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Methods, welcome to the program. Thanks for being here with me.
What's going on, buddy? I hope everybody's doing well out there in the chat.
Looks like we've got a nice comfy conversation going on there. We've got new drops, guys. At least one, anyways, that I've got here. Maybe there's another one. We'll go ahead and refresh. We'll talk about those in a moment. But first, I just wanted to say rest in peace to Joe M. and his wife. They are not gone from this earth, but Twitter has begun what we believe to be a great culling. Joe and his wife were removed yesterday and today. Methods, you said that he is still active on Instagram and Facebook?
Nah, he's on there and Instagram and Gab.
Ah, okay.
And
Gab.
I believe his wife's got an Instagram account too. I don't know if she's got a Gab, but yeah, everybody press F for respect in the chat for them, fallen soldiers.
That's right, F for Joe and his wife. Yeah, I see people with the right attitude in the chat today. Have no fear. Absolutely. You know why? Because we have reached a critical mass, a critical moment in this movement where I do believe that we are outnumbering the people out there who don't know what's going on. And even the people who only just barely know what's going on. It's enough to crack that egg and get people thinking about the truth of the situation, what we see in front of us. I think it's become painfully obvious that this lockdown that we're in is nothing more than a fabricated script. Okay, this is the last card that these people had to play, and they are using it to try to instill fear, to destroy the economy, and of course, most of all, to remove President Trump. They just can't barely hang on any longer. If he wins again, then their goose is completely cooked. you know, Methods, I was thinking about this last night. I think there's probably other things they could do. I mean, we've talked about stuff that they could potentially pull, but I mean, this was a big one. You know, this was a really big move, very bold.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they went for it. It's election year. I mean, all the writings on the wall, everybody that's been paying attention, following the show, or been around for a while can see what's going on with it. I mean, they didn't have to, you know, they didn't have to take it this far unless they see that they needed to, right?
Yeah.
Like if they had won the public opinion over and everybody, the majority was believing their narrative about Trump being so bad or a Russian agent or whatever, you know, they might not have had to do this at all, right? But the fact that they did it leads me to believe they know how screwed they are in November.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the death knell right here for the deep state. All right. Well, with that said, let's talk about this new post. So I'm not going to go through the article. I'll go through the article tonight at 6 on the show there. But our favorite Anon is talking about the shock that we might feel taking a look at what these people are willing to do. He says, difficult to imagine the media, D-Party, attempting to squash all hope of a cure. You know, we look at everything that's going on. We've got talking heads across all of the news networks, every single show that you can watch in the deep state-controlled media, and everybody's singing the same refrain. You know, we're going to be locked down for another 18 months because that's how long it's going to take for the big V word to get finalized, and then so they can roll it out to us. In the meantime, we should stop shaking hands. We should stop going to work. We should allow the United States to be completely destroyed in an economic meltdown. And that is the only thing that's going to save us from this pandemic. And then it continues, difficult to imagine media, D-Party, wanting public to remain in fear regarding CV-19 up until the election. Well, of course they want us to remain in fear. They want people to think that they are not safe to go outside. You know, how could you possibly go to a local precinct and cast your vote in a normal fashion? It must be done by mail. And then you must send it to the DNC for processing. And then it says, difficult to imagine media, D-Party, willing to sacrifice lives in order to regain power. Well, what is a single life when you're talking about the next 100 years of democratic rule here in America? And then enemy of the people, difficult truths will soon see the light of day. Methods, what do you have any idea, any theories on what might come about with this? I mean, what do you think it's going to take for the rest of the country to understand these things that we're talking about? How this is controlled, how the media and the Ds work hand in hand, and also work hand in hand with other countries that are working to undermine President Trump. What is it going to take for these people to understand the depth of this betrayal?
Well, I think it'd be great if they were able to prove and show evidence that people can believe that, you know, this colluding with China on all this stuff, like the pointing out on the same day that the person that came down with the Kung flu showed up in America was the same day that she turned over the impeachment stuff. Mm-hmm. Those kind of things, if that can be exposed, absolutely, because it's fresh, it's ruining people's lives in real time right now. To expose it in that case, and then maybe, you know, piggyback that onto what China was doing to us in 2016, messing with our election. Because like we talked about it yesterday, you know, that Hillary server, those emails have a lot to do with China. Mm-hmm. They have a lot of stuff going on with that. We know that based off of what's been talked about, whether it's our favorite Anon or what Trump said in rallies and stuff. So if you can tie all that in a bow and present it as such, and then on top of that, also the criminal referrals by Nunes talking about the media. And it said that, you know, one of the referrals was groups of people, mm-hmm. you know, obviously it tied to the media, you know, have all that stuff just blanket drop across the board for the next few months mm-hmm. would to me, in theory, help flip things back around as far as what's going on.
Man, that's exactly what we need. I completely agree with you there. We do have another drop. How do you hide the truth? Example, create a website and label it fake. How do you hide the truth? Look at that. They're talking about They're talking about the post yesterday. This is what got Joe deleted. Very interesting. How do you hide the truth? Create a public trend regarding term conspiracy to humiliate, typecast as mental crazy loony anyone who opposes the narrative. How do you hide the truth? Control majority of media to project, echo a controlled message regarding a desired topic, such as the danger of the situation that we find ourselves in now. The likelihood of mortality as a result of coming down with this stuff. This is exactly what we have. It's so clear to me. It's so clear to me how long they've been doing this and what their plan is. Every time I see something come up on the mainstream media, I see a 4 a.m. talking point pop up over here, over here, over here, and they're all echoing the exact same thing into that echo chamber. And then you see it picked up by these boneheads on Twitter, by people on social media, and they just run with it. President Trump is a Russian asset. President Trump did this. People lied. Trump died. And it's so clearly the exact opposite of what's truly happening. But very, very interesting that they mentioned specifically creating that website and then labeling it fake and saying people were crazy for sharing it yesterday. You saw that, right?
Right. Yeah. No, of course. But I do want to point out, a positive side of all this is that when you hear somebody like a Schiff or a Pelosi make that comment where it's kind of going in a different direction, even when they're like, well, maybe we should, X, Y, Z, whatever. Mm-hmm. I watch people on Twitter, especially, point out quickly, okay, great, here's the narrative that's coming. And then a few weeks later, that's where it was going. Mm-hmm. People are waking up to that, and so I'm very confident that we're going to be able to take apart any narrative throughout all this stuff towards the election and in the second term.
Yeah, this is the beautiful thing about this movement. We've turned a nation of just normal people into expert researchers, people who see this stuff and then can immediately pick it apart. And then we have our own echo chamber, which is fighting this mainstream narrative that they're trying to push on us and trying to control us and put us into mental slavery. Let me just say thank you to Mark Watts. Thank you for joining as a member. Kathy Alterman says, please address the cannibalism element of our favorite Anon's last post. Facebook has taken down the page. Did somebody hack our favorite Anon, or did our favorite Anon actually post that? Yes, our favorite Anon did post it. I believe that what was being pointed to was the idea of truth in jest. Okay, so these people hide in plain sight. They hide in plain sight because they put something out, they pretend like it's not real. When people pay attention to it, oh, that doesn't happen. How could you be crazy enough to think like that is something like that's really going down? But we know that that type of behavior actually exists. Now, that particular website that was put out, I think that it was just a gross example of the types of things that are happening, even if the exact content of that website wasn't legitimately put together. So they put it together. They were trying to equate people being harvested with animals being harvested. And unfortunately, although the information about that website was not an actual operation, it's still the example of something that actually happens in society. What do you think about it, Methods?
I totally agree with it. When you see things like that are just so blatantly out there, we just didn't know because we don't look for those things necessarily, and I hate Facebook, so I didn't know about it.
Yeah, me either.
But it was the idea of it itself. We know that goes on out there in the world. We know that there are that kind of evil, sinister people that will watch these horrific horror movies, and to them it's not a horror movie. It's they enjoy it in a weird way. So as far as it goes, yeah, it would be fake stuff. We don't know, movie props being used and memes to get their points across or whatever. It wasn't exposing a group of people per se, at least from what I saw. I know people are still digging on who owns the websites, and who owns the website back. I mean, I've even seen digs all the way down to the address, but I'm not about to say that on air. But with that said, it's the idea of it itself, man. Like, just that it is going on out there, and if anything, it was reminding us the kind of evil that we're up against.
Yeah, I mean, it's a sick subject, and it's not something that we willingly want to think about on a regular basis. And I think maybe it was put out of mind by a lot of people on purpose. Who wants to confront that type of evil in society? And we were just being reminded that that hasn't gone anywhere. It's still happening behind the scenes. And the types of things that you see there, that website, you've got film, you've got art. They subconsciously seed these things into society so that if we hear about them, then we say, oh, that's from that movie, or that's from that picture, or that's from that fake website. That's not real. But I'll tell you what, that stuff exists. Thank you to Looney Tunes, says Mike Barra, Ancient Aliens, follows our favorite Anon. I suggested he reach out to you, and he highlighted my comment on Tell the Truth, his channel. Worth looking into. I very well may talk to Mike Barra in some respect. I'm not familiar with his work, but I'll look into it. Carmen Richards says, yesterday and today, the drops right before Quarantime. LOL. I would say one more day and we got a pattern. Oh, that's pretty sweet. Yeah, you're right. Navy Vet says, RP and Methods, I have some sauce for you about the LA Helo and LV bullet incident with my buddy who is a SEAL and is in Intel. Sent to Methods DM. Methods, will you please do me a favor and check that out and forward over?
Yep.
JG says nothing. Thank you, Jay. Sally Jordan says, where we go one, we go all. Congrats, Methods, on getting posted by our favorite Anon. You guys rock. God bless you and keep up the good work. Thank you so much, Sally, from both of us. D's Nuts Be Dragon says, changing the name. Love you guys. D's Nuts will be looking for the new name. Thanks, buddy. ShopMom777 has joined as a member, and Stephanie Sprague says, our favorite Anon went 10 days, and that was the 10 Days of Darkness. That's right. It was the 10 Days of Darkness. Yeah, we commented on it yesterday. Definitely what happened. So, I was looking for the 3 Days of Darkness that you guys were talking about yesterday. There is a book called 3 Days of Darkness, and there is like a Catholic prophecy about 3 Days of Darkness. But it was spelled incorrectly in one of Q's posts. It was Darnkiss, and it's actually spelled incorrectly in the title of a book on a webpage that is also 3 Days of Darkness, and so those two things come up when you search for that misspelling. Let's see here. Need to say Red Pills Warhawk, name changed. I like it, dude. I like it. And Alyssa Barrick, thank you for joining as a member. Baby Love 78 says, I saw a while back how that club website that 17 posted yesterday was a fake website, but we can't forget the theory of RC's pick of J.E.'s tunnels. Gross. Yeah. And I'll be honest with you guys, I looked into that website years ago, and at least elements of the website were fake. They had names and photos of people. The photos were stock photos. The names were not real names. But that doesn't mean that they don't actually cater to some Hollywood elite, serving up some baby brisket or whatever it is that they serve up. I never made contact with anybody from the site. I don't know if anybody has actually made contact with people. I would imagine that if they're providing that type of a service, they're probably doing a fairly thorough background check on anybody that they speak to. And if you don't pass the test, then they're probably going to tell you that the website's a joke. But it's been around for years. I don't know that many people who put together a website in that respect and then just like keep it up and pay to keep it up. The people that they talk about in terms of the artists that are performing there, those people are real. And those are some pretty interesting characters. If you guys look into those people, then you might find some disturbing things. Let's see.
Hey, man, this comment I have, it's not a super chat, but Richard White just said, I practice cannabisism.
There you go.
Cannabis.
That works. Funny. That works. EO2 Dave says, should I tweet our favorite Anon's last post? I don't care if they throw me off. Well, Dave, I mean, I don't want you to get thrown off Twitter, dude. I mean, anything you guys do like that is up to you. But I think that the specific thing that got Joe kicked off is because, I mean, it was, don't they have like a policy against harm or insinuating harm? And there was some language in his tweet, I think that's what did it. But, I mean, I don't like looking at pictures like that. I personally don't like it when people share those kinds of images on Twitter. More than once, I have found myself looking at something horrific, which was real, and I knew it was real. And I don't think that's something that people need to see. I think that as long as people know it exists, I think that's good enough. But personally, it's psychologically traumatizing when you find yourself looking at a child, say, in that situation. And there's a particular image that was going around for a long time that really, really stuck with me. It screwed me up, and I didn't like it.
All this stuff, man, it wouldn't be that public, right? It wouldn't be that easy to find. That's dark web stuff, right? That's where a majority of any of this interaction or whatever they're trying to do would go on there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or hidden in video game chats or something.
Yeah. Luke Slytalker said that the club website just added DDoS protection. That's interesting. If it's just a fake website that doesn't actually provide a service, why would they want to pay for DDoS protection? That doesn't make any sense to me. So that makes me think that it's an actual legitimate thing. DJ Scratch D says, are you guys excited as I am to see what tomorrow has in store? 41020. Yeah, I'm on the edge of my seat, bro. I'm definitely ready to see what's happening on 41020. Barbara Nichter says, President Trump is the best chess player ever. That's right. He's a grandmaster. Gino says, when the plan comes to its fruition and there is a Hall of Fame built in D.C. for our favorite Anon, Methods will be the first inductee. Congrats. I can see that happening, dude. I think that you'll be getting a badge here pretty soon. Looney Tunes says, Lady Gaga, Sir Gaga Trans, joins the WHO. Yeah, Lady Gaga is now an emissary of the WHO. Didn't we cover that last week?
She was going there to talk. I didn't know that she became anything for him. But,
yeah. Yeah. Scott Simmons wants to know, how can we help Craig Mason's Reasonable Conversation channel get remonetized? It's my understanding that the platform is allowing people to reapply after 30 days. So I was doing some thinking about it, and it seems, so let's look at it rationally. There are hundreds of thousands, if not millions of channels on YouTube. I can't tell you how many of them are part of the YouTube Partner Program, but I know that the more there are, the farther down it drives the cost of advertising. So what they're doing, I heard, is going and doing a channel-by-channel check and reviewing the content and deciding whether or not to allow them to stay in the program or kick them out. What they're looking for is channels that they can make money off of. They want people to create content that can be monetized. Now, it's one of the reasons why I'm very careful with the way I choose my words on this channel. Not only do I want to ensure my own survival, but I also want to be careful about the way that I bring things to the audience. I want to be able to say as much as I possibly can without stepping over that line, because it's a very obscure line, okay? It's blurry. They don't tell you where it is. But I'm pretty certain that after doing this for almost 2 years, I figured out some of the things that I can and can't say. And I think that the channels that we're able to make it through do the same kind of thing. The channels that just have no care, that go ahead and push that boundary, they are the ones that got taken out of the program. Now, for some of the other channels, I think it's just that they were small enough that they probably didn't hit a formula that this platform had figured out. So if they got so many views per video and they had so many subscribers with potential for views, and then maybe a certain percentage of their videos were monetized after review, then they were able to make it through. The only way that I can think that Craig would be able to come back in, for them to let him, would be to increase his views per video and also make sure that he's not saying anything that would get him demonetized. And I'm actually really surprised that Craig got that taken away from him, because I thought he did a really good job of that. So maybe it is all, it's smoke and mirrors. I don't know. I wish that I could help Craig get it back. Because, yeah, you have a special comms way of talking. I do have a special comms way of talking. I've worked very hard to develop that over these 2 years. 1717 QQ, thank you very much for that. Kurt Listerman says, I'm running a 2020 campaign. I don't need any votes. Kurt Listerman, good luck to you in 2020. Truth Seeker says, Red Pill, don't worry if Methods gets a medal. Don't worry if Methods gets a medal. You, my friend, are for sure to get one. If Methods got a medal, and I did not get a medal, there would be absolutely no jealousy here. My heart would swell with pride and loyalty to my friend here. And whatever happens, Methods, you deserve it 100%. Witchy Poo 22, new drop about 20 minutes ago. Yeah, we had 2 new drops. Let me see if there was another third that popped up.
Yeah, I've been refreshing, and I haven't seen any.
Nothing's here. Well, let's talk a little bit of news. We got about 36 minutes left here. So,
hey, it's a good time to say, everybody, hey, click that like button for us. We have 4,800 people here. Hope everybody's doing well.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it if you share it. So, we know that the country is... Ooh, sense logic. We know the country is shut down right now. Okay? And we know that it is not about the severity or mortality rate of this sickness that we see. It's about instilling fear, and it's about making sure that people can't vote in a fair and free election. So the best thing we can do is to institute stimulus packages, which will keep the economy rolling. President Trump clearly wants to help the American public. The Republicans want to help the American public. But the Senate Democrats have blocked a $250 billion stimulus bill, which would extend the small business loan program, which many banks have stopped giving loans out for because there was such an incredible response. The Paycheck Protection Program, which I should say I tried to apply for, but since I didn't have any employees as of February 15th, I was not able to qualify for it. I thought if I said, hey, man, if I can get a loan from the government in order to hire some people, like that would be awesome. And it didn't work out, unfortunately. But a lot of other people were able to get loans and were able to keep some people on the payroll. Well, the Republicans want to continue that program. They want to keep it going. Another $250 billion so that we can keep the economy rolling. And the Republicans completely squashed it. They said no. They're not interested in another $250 billion to help America's small businesses. I mean, it just goes back to show people the priorities of our elected government, the priorities of the Dems, and the priorities of the Republicans. I'm shocked that they wouldn't be willing to do this. This is, to me, just another clue about the future of America if the Democrats get into power again.
Right. And I don't know if you said Republicans or Democrats. I know you meant Democrats. But with that said, yeah, I mean, it was how I understand this, how this morning went down. The bill was up for them to, add some more money to the situation to help out small businesses. And they shot it down and said, the Democrats shot it down and said that there needs to be more in it, which we know that they want to do. Mm-hmm. And then they came back with their pork. And then McConnell shot that down. Mm-hmm. He said, no, I'm not doing this pork stuff. This is about just adding extra money and helping out small businesses. And then Chuck Schumer took to Twitter, and I'm sure it became the narrative talking point on all the Mockingbird media stuff, saying that Mitch McConnell is trying to play politics and he's not trying to be bipartisan. That's the argument that they do every single time. Yeah. And right before the show, you told me about one of the pieces of pork that they wanted to put in there, and I'm sure you want to talk about that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I actually think that it's I don't know if it was a piece of pork on that bill or if this is a separate bill. But instead of an additional stimulus package for the American public, Senator Amy Klobuchar from Minnesota wants to propose a CV-19 stimulus bill for who? The mainstream media. The media.
Stupid. It's so stupid. Yeah. Go ahead, man.
I was just going to say, she says that the local media is suffering now as a result of what's happening. Well, as far as I can tell, the news is chugging along at quite a clip. There's no news stations that are shutting down. Nobody's out of work in the media. In fact, they have a dearth of information that they can just pull up at any time and cover. It is wall-to-wall coverage of CV-19. There is no limit of information for them to bring to the American public. And I'm sure that their 4 a.m. talking points also make up a heavy stack of their workload on a daily basis. So you've got Republicans wanting to bring money to the American small business owner, and you've got the Democrats wanting to bring additional money to the local media, to mainstream media. Just, it sickens me.
Right. I mean, we talked about it before the show. That's essentially a bribe to get through the election, right? Like they're giving their money, here, keep being good parrots, keep saying what we want you to say and all this stuff, because they're not doing journalism. We know this, right? Yeah. I mean, they have to find, if they're spending all their time trying to ask gotcha questions to the president and everybody else that they can get their hands on the interview, then they're just trying to create stories or create pieces for a narrative on a story that they want to tell. Mm-hmm. So to bail them out for what? The hard work that they're doing? No. I mean, that it's literally a payout. It's a bribe.
I mean, and let's be honest. I mean, we know that the media is owned by, 6 corporations? Those corporations are multi-billion-dollar corporations. They've got money coming out the wazoo, okay? And people in America consume media. That is what people do on a continuous basis. You've got your phone, you got your iPad, you got your computer. Some people have TVs in their cars. You've got your TVs in every room in the house. People are constantly watching the news. But you know what they're not watching? The mainstream media. That's the problem. Nobody wants to buy advertising on the mainstream media because viewer count is so low. People are tired of getting scolded and being told that they're bad because of who they are. You can't change who you were at birth. Okay. And when everything you hear is an attack on who you are as a person, it's an existential threat. And then you throw on top of that the lies and just the complete fabrications and these ridiculous stories about the president trying to frame what's happening in terms of it being our president's fault, not the fault of the country who lied about the origins or the timing of this sickness. Instead, you've got the mainstream media questioning President Trump, asking him if he's willing to pardon Joe Exotic from Tiger King. I mean, that is the most important issue of the day.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, the media has definitely, you can see why Trump allowed this to go on through this entire first term, right? Because they are imploding to the point that they're needing bailout money. Mm-hmm. I mean, we know that they are losing their advertisement, their revenue, and all that stuff. I mean, I'm sure even Fox News is hurting at times because they've been pissing off a lot of us lately. Mm-hmm. So they would need to have a bailout. Lets me know that the plan in that aspect is working because they've been exposing their intentions. They've exposed that that they'll lie. When Durham gets done with his report, people like you, myself, many of the digital soldiers out there are going to go find every single clip that these clowns said, saying that it was different, and we're going to do it back. We're going to play side by sides for the rest of the year, for years to come, because we have to expose. So they've created the content that we need later. So it's very brilliant to let them keep going with this stuff. I'm also interested because nobody's talking about, or I haven't seen any reports on how things are playing, I guess because of the Kung Flu, on Trump suing them. Remember he was he sued them all individually, multiple, what was it, CNN, ABC,
Washington Post, New York Times, I think.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see how that plays back out.
Me too.
But yeah, no, all interesting timing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, President Trump wants to make sure that the rest of the American public wakes up. For everybody who, falls asleep every day watching the MSNBC talking points, there are another patriot or two every single day that take a look at these ridiculous talking points and they say, you know what? President Trump is not that bad of a guy. And if I can be honest, I can look and see. Come on, honey, get up there. If I can be honest and take a look, then it's very clear that they are making up lies about him. Son of a Green Card says the authorized travel letters for highway travel are true. Yes, I've seen them, and I've had people send me pictures of them, and Real Red Pill Girlfriend has one as well. Stephanie Sprague says, when are people going to rise up and overthrow this corrupt government? Well, here's the thing. We have to allow it to happen in the way that President Trump and the Patriots are doing it. If we rise up against these people, then it's an extremely dangerous situation. I don't think that it would be a good idea for us to do it that way. Well, I think that President Trump has it in hand.
Yeah, and to that point, because I get those messages all the time. Why are we not rioting? Why are we not doing this? Do you know how quickly? Okay, first off, let's say we lose. right? Let's just play that out in your head. So, okay, let's say we fail at that. We then fit every single narrative that they've been trying to make about Trump supporters.
Yep.
To a degree. It makes all that, it's in the middle of Trump's election year.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't help the situation when you're going to do that. And you'd have to have it so organized and so across the board to be that successful about it. But it's going to feed in the mainstream media, and the Democrats would absolutely love us to do it.
Oh, yeah. And then we'd have a bunch of people who are really honestly patriots who would have treason charges on their hands. And you can't do that. You know, I mean, I don't want to make law enforcement or the military here have to choose between taking their orders and, you know, I guess turning against their superior officers. I think
and to that, I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm kind of reading this chat here. That's my opinion. That's me saying that. That's my opinion. And if Red Pill wants to agree, that's fine. That's just how we feel about it.
Yeah.
If you feel different, that's fine. Somebody just said that's not what I wanted to hear. I'm out. Well, have a great day.
Peace.
I hope everything goes well for you. That's how I feel. But we want everybody to have their own opinions on anything. So when we say that's just our side of things. That's how we look at it. Agree, disagree, whatever. But I mean, we're just speaking our minds.
Yeah, you know what? Last time I checked, this is America. And one of the tenets of America is freedom of expression. And this is my expression of why I think that is a bad idea. I think that we have a much better chance of working together to do this in a nice and orderly fashion. I believe that we're winning right now and that we are overturning the corrupt government. And we're doing it with the help of the man in charge upstairs at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. So if some shills want to come in here and start riling people up and saying we need to take up arms, I think that you're a plant, and that's the way I feel about it.
Hey, we got new favorite Anon, by the way.
Oh yes. Let me just finish the rest of these. Glenette took her red pill. Says I watched the 31-minute video of the Payne's Angel channel. I couldn't sleep afterwards. Don't think I'll be watching the HRC video if released. Yes, I'm not going to be watching it either. Trisha QP Texas says, if Dims want mail-in ballots, I say send them all to Judicial Watch. Huge payment from the government so they can get it done. Also, congrats again, M3 Thods. Love you.
I'll never let that go.
No, you won't.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Wandering Mind says, one digital soldier falls and more rise red pill plebes. That's right. Chris Kringle says, hey, Methods and Red Pill, have you discussed the new drops? Just came out within the last 30 minutes. We discussed the first two drops, and we're going to discuss the next one right now in a minute. Michael Kenny says, it would be interesting to send in a GPS tracker of some kind along with the mail-in ballots to see where they actually end up. Broward County, Florida. Probably. Marianne Wilkinson, thank you for joining as a member. EO2 Dave says, all these constant attacks must cost money. They are trying to pay them. Yes, they are trying to fund their own propaganda campaign by paying money to the mainstream media. John Repick and Amy Alicia, thank you both for joining as members. Looney Tune says, let's start a $2 train where we go one, we go all. Hit that. Thumbs up. Please hit that thumbs up. Red Pills Warhawk says, watch for book deals in the pork. They are that desperate. Yes, probably a whole bunch of them. Into Next says 2-for-1 tiger oil on sale at prison commissary.
Oh, you have to read, or I'll read it. What Hulk just said. 4 weeks into socialism and Bernie Sanders bails out. That's great, man.
Oh, that's great. Into Next. Thank you for that. And Big Mac says new favorite Anon. Yep. Okay. So what happens when state actors' assets are removed? How does a state actor gain leverage over a person in power regarding blackmail? Define traitor. Data exchanges can be very dangerous. What happens when state actor assets are removed? Well, if somebody is a state asset and they're removed from the situation, then they are the ones holding the blackmail material, and that will set other people free. That's my opinion on that. A traitor, obviously, is somebody who goes against their country, and data exchanges can be very dangerous. It sounds like perhaps maybe they intercepted some electronic exchange of blackmail material. What do you think?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me. And having assets in the kill box, plays into that even more. If the assets are being removed, then they would obviously, the blackmail would be in the right people's hands now, right? Like,
yeah,
that's what this is implying to me. I don't know. Chat, what do you think? Put your ideas in the chat.
Yeah, definitely want to get your idea. Somebody says, who has been removed? Well, that's the thing about the spy game. We don't know. Maybe let's be checking the news to see if there is an announcement of somebody, being arrested for something. I mean, maybe this is referring back to the incident at Harvard that took place back in January. I don't know. Steve Dickman, thank you for joining as a member as well. Yeah, I mean, there could be a couple of different things happening here. But you know what this reminds me of, Methods? This reminds me of that conversation I had with my friend. Remember that I sent you? Talking about the operation that they were working on to get these people to start dumping the blackmail information.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
This reminds me of that quite a bit.
Yeah, go ahead and tease the entire audience, but that's fine.
I swear, guys, soon we'll be able to talk about it, but not quite yet. This makes me think that I'm glad that I waited so that we can bring this out. And I'll bring sauce, dates, and timestamps. Yeah. Jeffrey Gubala says, congrats, Methods, again and again and again. Once again. Yeah, it was pretty hilarious to see that happen again. How many times was that, Methods? Not that it's a moment of you bragging, but I'm interested to know how many times now.
It's like 7 or 8 times, something like that.
Sweet. Oh, Luke Slytalker says another new one. Let me refresh. Yeah, we're still at 3920 here on the map, so hopefully that'll update in just a moment. Colonel Flom says, if going to the grocery store is essential and worth the risk, then voting in person is equally essential. Don't let anyone try to convince you otherwise.
Oh, yeah, there's another one.
Okay.
It's short, I'll just say it. It's all caps, so you know Q's serious. It says FISA indictments equal start Q, and that's it.
FISA indictments will come with the revelation of the Durham investigation.
Yeah, so, and somebody was correcting me in the chat, and you're right. I called it a Durham report. And that's kind of just been the echo chamber thing that we've all been saying. Yep. He will be reporting what happens, but as far as us getting a full-blown, like, the IG report thing, I'm not sure. I mean, I think he's just more going to hand out, consequences and an explanation, whether it be through a presser or whatever.
Richard Stewart, sorry for my ignorance, but what happened to Method 6 times? He got put on the board, and it could have even been more times than that. We'll just say that. Siye, S-I-Y-E, thank you for joining as a member. Looney Tune says, Playboy Mansion under construction, tunnels. I bet you they're filling them in because they don't want evidence to be found. 27 Sparkle, what a freaking 3 years. Jiminy Crickets. Personally, this has been the most exciting time of my life. I understand wanting to get to the end of the race, but remember what they say. It's not the journey. No, it's not the destination. It's the journey. We got to have fun with it. Red Pills Warhawk, thanks again, buddy. Crash6871, not sure if you've seen this article, but I know you have speculated about it. Check your email. Just sent 5 minutes ago. Hydroxychloroquine helps the big C word, cancer, it looks like. Yeah, I'll see if I can pull that up. Let's see. Yes, that's the email at the top of my list. We'll go ahead and get that pulled up. That is very interesting. Malaria drugs could help to combat cancer. That's from Medical News Today. Very interesting. Well, no wonder they don't want people to know about it. If they start giving it to everybody to make sure that this stuff goes away, then they'll also get better from a whole bunch of other life-threatening things. Son of a Green Card says, I think this is why POTUS is letting the local state government try to run their own shows, expose their corruption by their own works. Yeah, definitely. I mean, by all rights, they are supposed to be running their own shows. The federal government is not supposed to come in and just take over. We've got the separation of powers between the states and the federal government for a reason. The state governments of each state are supposed to have everything all ready and ready to go. But the reason that they're trying to say that President Trump and the federal government is not doing enough is because of their own incompetency. They want to highlight and make it look as if he is incompetent. But the truth of the matter is they've been siphoning off money. They've been stealing from people all these years. They've been taking all of this money from federal funding in the form of grants and money that they get for different programs and stuff. Think about the extra money that hospitals are. Oh, I haven't even talked about that. Hospitals are getting extra money in places like Minnesota if they say that the cause of death was CV-19. That's the reason that they're doing it. On top of the fear factor, they're doing it because they want additional money from the federal government. So They have mismanaged their own economies into the ground, and they want to take advantage of the federal government, now placing it at the feet of President Trump. But it's clearly their fault. Carol Blitz says, watching. Carol, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. Kristen P., thank you. And Kurt Listerman has joined as a member. Much luck in 2020, Kurt Listerman. You guys, I got an email today from a viewer in Zambia. I had no idea that I had anybody in the continent of Africa watching my show. I go ahead and look at the analytics sometimes to see where people are watching, and it's a majority the United States and some other Western European nations. But this viewer is from Luanshya, Zambia. And I just want to say thank you very much for writing me today and letting me know that you're watching the program. This is truly a global movement. We've got patriots from everywhere. I say it all the time. And it's so exciting to me to get emails like that and to get messages in the chat showing that people are watching from all across the globe. TechnoAxe's royalty-free music. TechnoAxe, thank you very much, buddy. Good to see you around. I haven't seen you for a while. Glad to know that you're still here. Let's see. No Name is trending today. Ooh, No Name is trending today. Is it?
That's because his stupid daughter wanted to talk about the POW stuff and attack Trump because of what he said about her father. So she started that nonsense. Meghan
McCain, go away. So I hope you guys saw the video at 6 yesterday. That's when I talked about the doctor and the senator from Minnesota, Senator Dr. Scott Jensen of Minnesota. He was talking about the directive that he got from the state of Minnesota to write every single cause of death as CV-19. And then it comes out, he did an interview with Laura, what's her name? Laura Ingraham last night. And he said that every single person that they list as that cause of death is going to be additional monies for them from the state government. Ken Cook says, wouldn't it be an extra Good Friday if Durham had a news conference tomorrow announcing FISA indictments for 1020? Ooh, man, that would be the absolute tops. What about you, Methods? Don't you think that'd be awesome?
Yeah, I'm all for it. And I find it very interesting that we're now getting the part 2 interview of Barr tonight.
That's perfect.
Right. It's perfect timing for it. And the quote, and I've got it tweeted out on my page, or I retweeted Luke Goldberg, awesome grab. He said, he quoted Barr saying, what happened to POTUS was one of the greatest travesties in American history. No basis for this investigation. What's even more concerning is what happened after the campaign, a whole pattern of events, ... to sabotage the presidency. Mm-hmm. And that's what Barr said.
That is very telling, guys. For anybody who has any reservations about where this is going, the Attorney General of the United States said it point blank. They tried to sabotage the presidency. That is a treasonous act. It is clear to me what is happening. And again, it's why I am so comfy on a daily basis. Another reason is because I let go of my need for control in life many years ago. I can't control what happens. I can't control what Barr does. I can't control who gets indicted and who faces justice. I can certainly give my opinion and suggest a way that I believe it should go. But when it comes down to it, however it happens, I'm not the one who's running the show here, okay? And because I know that, I don't have to get all bunched up about it. I don't have to let myself get completely freaked out.
We got a new queue, and I'm going to go ahead and tell everybody, all because I just read that tweet doesn't mean that I posted it as our favorite Anon, because he literally just put that, what I just read, in a post.
That's amazing.
No connection whatsoever. I promise you, people.
How funny is that? Okay, Live Free or Die says, New York State is not letting insurance companies review any CV-19 cases for fraud in coding and reimbursement. All new FISA indictments start. That's right. Wait. Yeah, FISA. Yes, we put that one in there. Thanks, buddy. Bob Ayala says, this is a great lift to the middle of my day. Thanks, guys. Many blessings, and God bless America. We're so glad we can be here for you, buddy. We appreciate it. SR Moondog says, Trump's inaugural address stated we will release the cures. Don Jr. always says, if my dad cured cancer, and hydroxychloroquine is more than we realize. How incredible is that? I hope that I'm going to go ahead and tweet out that article, guys, and hopefully we can get some eyes on that. And perhaps already the president is well aware. Dale Bercier says, another fine day of mail delivery and red pill and our super famous methods. Can I possibly get autographs? Methods, are you going to start sending out autographs to people?
I couldn't even wrap my head around doing that, man. But it just sounds like way too much hubris.
I know, doesn't it? People have asked me before, and I feel weird about it.
Well, that's why, like, I don't even like when it's happened, and when I've gotten tagged in a post, I just get flooded with the congratulations and all that. So let me just say, a mass thank you to everybody who reached out and said that. I really do appreciate all the love, for sure.
Yeah. Let's see. White Hat says, our favorite Anon just announced FISA indictments start. I was told something coming Friday. Remember, let's go. I'm so excited. I can't believe it.
You're not helping the situation, White Hat. Getting everybody all excited.
Fanning the flames.
Everybody go after him on Saturday if nothing happens. Take it to him. We don't want to hear it.
Jennifer Costco, thanks for joining as a member. And CCS, if you share our favorite Anon's post 3921 on Twitter, it pops up with For God and Country link to the map. Okay, that's strange. It's strange. I would think that's got to be a glitch on the map site. The Nick No, what's up, Patriot? He says, No Name blocked the recovery of POWs, was told by high-ranking generals. I'll send you details later. It's ironic. Thanks, Nick. I appreciate that. I have heard that before. Because the reason he blocked them is because they had the knowledge of what a traitor he was when he was in captivity in Vietnam. He treated his fellow POWs poorly. He gave information. He talked. And they went ahead and gave him a nice cushy room, and they gave him surgery for his leg. Any other person, a regular grunt, would not have gotten the help that he got while he was there, or the treatment, because he was an admiral's son. Of course, they wanted him to go ahead and talk, and he made recordings talking about the quality of care that he was receiving from the Viet Cong, and they played them on loudspeakers throughout the entire encampment where people were being held. John, No Name, he did not want people coming home and telling his secrets. Oh my God, RQ squee. That's definitely it. Okay, so many people in the chat said that our favorite Anon must be watching because that was posted like right after you said it. Do you happen to have the exact post on the board methods? Can you look and see the timestamp on it?
The timestamp on it would be 1:44 my time, so it'd be 2:44 Eastern.
Dude, I think that was literally right after you said it.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's cool. I'm not gonna read into it, but that's pretty cool.
Well, I'm still gonna say hello to the team. Hope you guys are enjoying. We are enjoying helping out in whatever way we can. Love it. Love the job President Trump is doing. Love everything that's happening in this country. I am so excited about the future, and I want everybody to feel the same level of excitement that I do. It is happening, guys. I truly believe it's happening. This is the best time in the world. We are so blessed to be here in this moment. Navy Vet says, RP, the stuff I just sent you has to do with intercepts. Deb Janis, President Trump just tweeted, Boris Johnson out of the ICU. That is great news. And Two Moms Marie, thank you for joining as a member. Navy Vet, let's see. Was this... I don't want to dox you, Navy Vet. Does your email have your name in it? Did you send me something about Battlestar Galactica? I don't know which one of these is yours, buddy. All right, well, we'll go through it. Jennifer Costco says, was told, if it's not on Big Three, I don't believe it. Take our media back so public will believe. Yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea. I think that if the national media should be broken up because it's a monopoly, all of them are monopolies, then it would go a long ways towards restoring the trust that the American public once had for the mainstream media. Now, let's see. So Trisha QP Texas says drops 30, 34, 36, 43, 37, 30, 37, 41, 37, 50, 3840 and 3914, all methods mentions. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, 7. Joey Stewart, what do y'all think will go down on tomorrow or in the coming days? Well, I mean, like White Hat said, There's been some chatter. There's been chatter plenty about 4/10/20. Tomorrow would be the perfect time for the results of the Durham investigation to be revealed and for indictments to be unsealed. It would obviously be the very best possible day for it to happen. But I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. This to me is the next logical thing that has to happen in terms of this plan. We can't go forward in any meaningful way until we have this full accounting of what actually took place. What do you think about that?
Oh yeah, I totally agree. And we've been seeing like little pieces of information come out, like how Durham has been asking everybody in Brennan's orbit about how he was handling things during the FISA stuff. And he talked to Admiral Rogers a bunch.
Yeah.
So we've seen like little pieces come out, stuff like this. And then now, because I mean, wasn't the bar part 1 months ago? Right?
It was months ago. Yeah, I've actually been waiting for this additionally. I wonder if they filmed it months ago and they just waited to premiere it now because of the sensitivity of the information in it.
Right, like they waited for it, and we probably need to look into that after the show, or I'm sure people are already on it because the chat's brilliant.
Yeah.
When did the part 1 happen? Was it before the announcement of Kung Flu issues? Because I'd be wondering if they held on to it because they understood that this narrative was going to take over everything.
Yeah.
And why it got pushed a little bit. And is it the same way? Is he wearing the same tie? Is it in the same location as part 1? Because I remember them saying a part 2 was coming, and then we never got it. And then we've been dealing with all this mess. But yeah, so if anybody can find that, shoot us a DM or whatever. But I'm going to look into it after the show for sure.
White Hat says it may happen on the federal side and we may not hear publicly. There is the distinct possibility that that might be the case. And then we only find out later on. Let's see. Glenn Steinfeld 47, thank you for joining as a member. Lynn Houston says, wait until next year after insurance companies must pay hospitals all this money. Premiums will skyrocket. Is this why CV-19 overloaded 2 hospitals with complaining staff as a cover? Could be. John Anon says, Janet H. Brown is under pressure to cancel debates. The executive director of the Commission on Presidential Debates of the United States. Of course they want to cancel the debates. Joe Biden can't debate President Trump. It won't be a debate. It'll be a mop-up. President Trump will use Joe Biden in his doll hair to wipe up the entire stage right there. Let's see. Cindy DeKine says, we the people must put pressure on the mainstream media. Virginia mainstream media tracking 24/7 slander of our president constantly. That's right. They are. And I think that what we're doing right now is putting tremendous pressure on them. I mean, they're well aware of the movement of citizen journalists that's happening here in the United States and across the globe, almost worldwide. Red Pills Warhawk says, bro, if you send my J.E. didn't do it shirt, would you sign it? Just playing, I'm not taking it off. I actually don't have the ability to. I totally would have done it. But it comes direct from the people who are making it. So when you get it, take a picture, and I will sign the picture for you if you want. And then Cindy DeKine, thank you for joining as a member as well. All right. Well, we are getting darn near close.
And we got one. We got another post.
Do we? Let me see. Let me refresh. All right. Ooh, the hunt is on. The hunters become the hunted. It is the poster for The Hunters Become the Hunted. And we've got an article from The Guardian. It says, compare and contrast. Dates are important. Well, that looks to me like another article that we're going to be going over on the 6 p.m. program. It's entitled Invisible Enemy. Trump says he is wartime president in CV battle. So, yeah, it's just a video. We'll go ahead and play it in the 6 p.m. broadcast, guys. So keep your eyes and ears open, and we will be back at 6 p.m. for our regular dose of RPN. Thank you so much. I do appreciate everybody. Let's see. Wait a second. Debbie, I don't get what you're saying. My voice drops with disappointment. Oh, are you talking about the public reveal of it? I mean, if it isn't revealed publicly, I mean, I completely understand. I think that there's a lot of people who want to see that public stuff happen. I realize that probably only a very small portion is even going to be revealed publicly. The thing that I care about is getting justice. Justice for the president, justice for the country, and justice for the people who perpetrated this coup on our nation. That's what I care about most.
Well, let me give my 2 cents on that post real quick, because you'll be doing your show later. It reminds me of the clip that I put out yesterday of Trump saying that Obama knew something about Joe, on why isn't he endorsing him, and Trump said, "I think I know." You know what I mean? So that gets into, you know, the wartime presidency, what he can get away with and doing during that time. That's just what it makes me think of, because with Hunter, as we know, that has to do with or it has been alluded to being about Archer and Hunter. So that's just my 2 cents on it, but I'm sure you'll do fine in the video later.
All right, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Lastly, to Dents Plus says, you two make a great team. I have to agree, Methods. I love having this show with you, and I love our Sunday show as well. It is an honor and a privilege to be here with you, and congrats again on getting posted yesterday. Hopefully it'll happen again today.
I don't know about all that. As far as when it happens, it's cool, man. But I appreciate it, and I definitely love doing the show with you.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of fun doing this during this quarantine stuff. Maybe we'll consider this as something permanent in the future.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. All right, guys. Well, thank you, everybody, for being here today. Thank you to everybody who participated. Thank you for all the likes and the shares. 2.7 thousand people have liked the program. Over 5,700 still here with us, and we're at the top of the hour. So please, everyone, consider liking it on your way out. And we will go ahead and see you tonight at 6 p.m., and then we'll be back tomorrow at 2 for Quarantine. Have a great day, everybody.
Much love.